Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I'll be making a birthday card for my father-in-law, and I've been seeing all of the inspiration from the new Lawn Fawn pop-up box that they just released recently, and it made me realize that I have this die set from iCrafter, which is their box pop. This is the oval base, but they have a lot of add-on sets as well for different themes or different things that you can have pop out of your box. And I thought, well, maybe it's time to craft with this because I don't think I have yet. So this is really adorable and very easy to put together. The largest die in the set will cut you this piece here, which is basically half of the oval base. And all of the score lines are put in place by the die, and they are all mountain folds. So you'll fold them down in the exact same direction. And this little tab here will basically kind of create that initial dimension of, as I mentioned, half of your box, and they'll sort of fit together as I showed there. So there are a couple places where you want to put adhesive to attach these two halves. The first is on this little glue tab on the side, and I do like to use a nice strong adhesive. So I've got a little bit of red line tape left that I'm trying to use up, so I've used that, but I'm also dotting on just a little bit of liquid adhesive because I do want this to be nice and a nice permanent hold, because it's a card that I don't think you'll actually flatten it and open it a lot, so I don't think it'll get exercised a lot, but all the same, I do want to make sure that it's going to have a nice permanent strong hold. And anything that is expected to fold down flat, when I go to adhere it, I do like to attach it flat. That way I can be certain that this will actually fold down as expected. And if everything lines up, then it will for sure pop up correctly. But I find that sometimes when I've tried to attach things kind of in the air in the 3D shape that it's meant to take, that sometimes I'm a little bit off and it actually doesn't fold completely flat. Now here's where I made a mistake. I'm putting glue here, which is what you want to do, but what I forgot that I wanted to do was that if you intend to have something pop up out of the center, because that was basically where the two halves of the oval base meet up in the middle, if you want something to pop up out of that seam there, you want to attach a pop-up stand before you glue those two halves together. And I don't realize that till later, that by completely closing that off, I've kind of eliminated that option of having something pop out from the middle. Now these pop-up stands are, there's another die in the oval base that will die cut out these stands, and they're the perfect height. There's a glue tab that it puts a score line in for you, and I've just folded it, slid it through the slot there, and when it made contact with the bottom of the oval base, that's when I opened up the base and flattened it to, again, ensure that it will actually fold down flat and in the right position to come up through that slot. The iCrafter oval base does have a lot of add-on sets, like I mentioned, but really you can use anything in your stash to theme or to pop up out of here. So I a second ago just held this against a US A2 size card just to make sure that what I plan to attach to these stands will still fit in a US A2 size envelope. So this is going to be the tallest thing that I plan to pop up, and so that's why I held it against basically an A2 card base, just to make sure that it's going to fit in the envelope. And what I'm using to decorate my pop-up base with is this set from Paper Discovery. It's from their Vintage High Street collection, and which is awesome because there are different themed shops or stores that you can buy in as separate stamp and die set bundles. I don't know if it's still available, but I got it off of Craft Stash, and you do get the dies and the stamps together. They're sold as a set. But the stamps and dies are actually pretty cool because they can be used standalone as well as together, because there are some, not just mixing and matching, but in the sense that many, if not most of the dies are actually standalone. They don't actually coordinate with a stamp. Like everything that I use for this card is standalone. That's where I realized that I can't put something in the center. I tried to put the toolbox in the in that center seam, but I use such strong tape, there's just no prying that back open. And the way I like to glue things down, I like to use dry adhesive as close to the edge as possible, to prevent any sort of lifting at the outer seams, and so it's totally shut off there. But anyways, as I was saying, these tools are all die cut tools that I've die cut multiple times so that I can get the different look of the different materials. So for example, out of mirror card, silver mirror card, I die cut out what would be the metal portion of these tools, and then out of a blue pearlescent card, I die cut out the entire tool and left it full. That way I can just layer on the metal looking piece or the mirror card on top of it. And so it just gives you this, I mean, yeah, the dies do cut out the entire tool in one go. So if you want this sort of multicolor look of your tools, you'll need to do a little bit of snipping just to cut off portions of the tool so that you can layer on and have this multicolor look here. But I think it's well worth it because the tools just look so great. There's embossed detail on them, and they're just so realistic. It's so awesome. So I am using some of the stamps though. So this happy birthday stamp is from the stamp set that is sold as part of this DIY shop bundle, and the wet paint sign is also a stamp that comes with this as well. The Best Dad stamp though, that's from I think the Spellbinders Happy Dance collection, one of those die sets, stamp and die sets, or I guess the stamp set that's part of that collection. And so I'm just going to kind of arrange this, and the little die cut here that I stamped Best Dad onto, there's actually a stamp that this is an outline die for, but I kind of like the Superman-ish shape of that, so I thought it would be great to put Best Dad there. And the slots that I am sliding my pop-up stands through, that's another die that's separate, that's included in the base oval pop-up box from iCrafter. But what's cool about it is because it's a separate die from the oval base itself, you can choose not to have that slot if you prefer not to have anything pop up there. And there's actually two separate dies that will give you the slot location in the middle of the oval base, or offset to the left or the right. And so it's nice that we get the two separate dies. And the reason why they're separate dies, even though they cut out the same size slot, is because the shape of the metal itself is the shape of the half oval, and that makes it really easy to line up with your with the oval base, so that it is actually perfectly perpendicular with the sort of the center where everything gets folded down. And so it's really nice that it's been designed that way, so everything is nice and lined up, squared with each other, and will all fold down nice and flat as well. So the only other thing that I decided to add was, because I didn't use everything, there's still a few tools that I didn't use, but because I put this wet paint sign on the back, And I did already finish off the back of the pegboard with that extra piece of cardstock. I decided to just add another pegboard die cut, which does come in the DIY shops die set from Paper Discovery. And I decided to add some paint tools. So these rollers and paint brushes, which I thought went well because it does have the wet paint sign on the back. It's just a little extra surprise so that you, as you're kind of looking at this, there's something to see all the way around. And of course, totally optional to do this, but because that pegboard is the tallest thing on my pop-up stand, and I already made sure that it would fit once it's folded down into a USA 2 size card, I don't have to worry about anything else that I put on this card, so long as it's below the pegboard here. So really simple, easy to put together, and folds flat, so you can. It's an easy mailer, and it's such a fun, versatile die set, the oval base, because you can really pop up anything that you have in your stash. So I hope that you enjoyed this card, and if you did, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you'd like to catch new videos as I post them, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Thanks so much. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.